Okay, this video is for Module 5 for computerized accounting using QuickBooks Online. And this module deals with accounts payable, so this is video 1. I hope that you're referring to the case study and watching those videos that are linked in that resource. Also reading the instructions that are given in the large manual, and there are some videos linked in those resources as well. So when you're entering accounts payable, we in the setup process in module 2, you imported the list of vendors. So we're not going to be setting up any new vendors, but I'm going to show you how, if you needed to set up a new vendor, I'm going to show you how you would do that. So it's imperative to establish best practices for accounts payable. You want to manage the outflow of cash. Now, we're doing this. This is not a real business, so some of the capabilities we won't see, such as actually printing the checks. You would have to link it, the check style, and you would have to insert those forms into your printer to print those checks. So we won't be printing those, but you can print the reports that will show that you initialized payment. All right, so if you needed to set up a new vendor, you can go up here and click on New under Vendors. You can click Add Vendor. That will bring you to this. You see this vendor, this pop up that you can enter the company name, the vendor address, all the information, link it to an account if you need to, and then you would click Save. Now I'm not going to add a new vendor. Another thing, if you wanted, maybe you had an expense and you needed to generate a check on the spot, and you didn't have them established as a vendor, you could go to click on Vendor. You could click New Vendor, but let me show you another way. You can go to Expenses over here in your menu. Click on Expenses. Click New Transaction and click Expense. And then it's going to give you the option to enter a new vendor here. And you can add the information and create the new vendor. Now, the best practice is you want, if it's going to be a recurring vendor, you want to set them up in the vendor list. All right, so I'm going to close this because we're not going to go any further with this. All right, in your case studies, on page 38, you need to edit 3 vendors. So we need to go to the vendors list. So I'm going to go back to, I'm just going to click on Expenses and I'm going to click on Vendors. You can get to that several different ways. You can click on New. You can go to Lists. So I'm just going to click on Vendors. You can see that all the vendors are listed. So we need to scroll down, select Smurf Legal Services. I'm going to click on the vendor name, and then I'm going to click Edit. And then I get this vendor listing where this was imported. So this is set up. We've got the name, the address, but we need to add a business ID, and we need to, the instructions say, again, this is on page 38. It says to make sure that the track payments for 1099 is selected. So go down here to additional information. You want to enter that ID. It's a bunch of 9s. They're just going to use the same business ID for all 3, and then click Track Payments. All right, there's lots of other items that you could attach to this, and I'm just going to leave this as is. Alright, I'm going to save that. Now I want to go back to my vendor list. I'm just going to click on vendors here. So you can see there's a check mark. We have a 1099 tracking for Smurf. You're going to do the same thing for the campaign marketing. Click on the name of the business, click edit, and then just scroll down till you get to the additional information. Add that business ID and make sure that the track payments for 1099, this is for a contractor or subcontractor, so that when you have to issue a 1099 at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year, showing how much you paid this vendor so that they can use it for their tax filing purposes. Alright, and we're going to save this. And then go back to the vendor list, and we have one more. Animatic sounds. So I'm going to click on the name. I'm going to edit that, and just make sure you scroll down to where you see the additional info. Add the business ID and click the track payments for 1099 and save. Okay, so we've made those edits. This is all on page 38. Alright, on page 39, we need to add a bill for Smurf Legal Services. So we want to add a bill, so I'm going back to vendors, and up here at the top, you see bill. So I'm going to click add bill. I could also go to new, and under vendors you'll see bill, and click on bill there. Alright, so I want to add a bill. I'm going to create a bill because this bill has not been created, so we want to create the bill. You want to choose the vendor's name, and this is, I'm going to use Smurf Legal Services. Notice that the mailing address defaults. The terms that we're going to use is due upon receipt. It says to use 1/20 of current year. So you're going to see that these are going to be past due because of the dates that they tell us to use. Alright, on the bill number, it's very important that you document all source documents. So the bill number, any kind of memo information that you could put in there would be beneficial for someone who comes along with audits. Okay, now there's three categories, and these categories are the accounts that the bill, the amounts are related to. So the first one is 63,520. So this is going to give us our chart of accounts. So we need to go down till we find 63,520, which is legal fees, and the amount is $1,500. All right. So then we have another line 62,700 with it, which is license fees, and the amount is $90. And then a third 64,000, and that's related to taxes, and that's $800. Okay, so the total bill is going to be $2,390. Okay, so in the memo, I'm just going to put received bill from Smurf Legal Services for, I'm just making this up, services rendered on January of the 18th. And then we received the bill 2 days later. Okay, so completed the bill. You can't see it here, but let's change this. I'm going to click You can, the way this is set up, if you click Save and Schedule Payment, I'll do that. But it's going to open this resource where it's trying to get you to purchase some services, and we don't want to do that, so we're going to close that. So to pay this bill, I'm going to go back to bills here and just click Pay Bills. And the only bill that we have entered is the legal service, this one. So I'm going to select the bill, and schedule payment. Actually, go up here to, alright, we have to select the payment account. So it tells you what the payment account is. It's the checking account. So make sure you select that. The payment date is the January 20th, the date of receipt. And it says to use the check number. The reference number is the check number. So 2002. Just leave this print later. Just leave that unchecked. Okay, so the amount is listed here. I think this is everything. The name that would go on the check, the what it was for. So this is actually the face of the check. All right. So we schedule the payment. I'm going to just do save and close, and I'm going to end this video, and I'll start another video with adding some several batch transactions, adding several bills at one time, and then we'll go and pay them in a batch. Right, I'm going to go back to the home dashboard. And I'll start another video.